offensive threats you see from Clemson? Just what are they, and how difficult are they to protect for?
Well, the running backs are really good players. Every time we play them, I always come away from the game impressed with Will Shipley and how hard he plays. The other running back, number 7, big, strong kid as well. So it starts with stopping the run. Their quarterback's an athlete, and they've run him some. I don't know if they'll run him more against us or not, but he is an athlete you have to worry about. And then a receiver, number 6, has had a really good season for him in the slot, and they've had some injuries at some of the other positions. I think their tight end's a really good player. He got hurt us last year in our game, but they always have talented players. They always do. And the best thing you can do is get them in 3rd and longs and get them in those situations. They're an up-tempo offense, and so when you give up-tempo offenses first downs, and that's when it gets really hard. So you want to try to get them out of the down and distance that they like to be in.
Clemson's not bad, but they're not having the type of season they've been having. Does that make them kind of dangerous in a way?
Yeah, I think they're a better team than their record. When you have 10 fumbles that you lose, it's going to hurt your record. And similar to us, we've had some interceptions, and so turnovers cost you games. They do. And so, I feel the same way about our football team. I think you're a 4-3 team. There's a lot of things you look at on film on why you're a 4-3 team. And they have good players, have good coaches. The kids were highly recruited, and we got to do a good job of, like I said, getting them in 3rd and longs and then getting some takeaways. Our defense has always done a good job of that.
Coach, Sean Brown talked yesterday about him being able to express his anger on Saturday. Is that something you're sensing from this team?
Football is a game that allows you to do that. I think for those of us that have played this game our whole lives, most of us chose the sport because of the contact of it. If you weren't a contact player, you'd go find another sport. And so it is the one place where you actually get praised, besides the boxing ring and wrestling match, for your physicality. And so for those guys that do have anger, then yeah, it's a great place to use that and vent. And obviously within the rules and where you're doing your job. But I've always felt that way as a former player. That was my safe place to go have fun and be physical, And so I hope all our players do that, and I do. The biggest thing for us, we want to be physical, we want to be tough, and something that I don't think we were enough in the last game. So this would be a great game to go out there and play that way.
Maybe it always happens after a bye week, but do you feel like you guys are more introspective, more about you guys than, say, worrying about what Clemson does, more about fixing what you guys need to fix than analyzing it, what the Tigers bring to the table?
There's a blend, but yeah, I think the first really 2/3 of this time we've had since our last game has been about NC State. And, where do we have to improve? What do we have to do better? And then getting on the field, just playing against each other, playing football. We didn't really focus on Clemson until the week of the game, Tuesday. And so it gave us 3 really good practice days. Just, the things we want to be on that football field, and how can we do that? And we put a vision in front of these guys, and they've accepted what they have to do, and they've gone out and worked hard at it.
Yesterday we asked Chris Tootle just about how practice been, and his words were pretty gnarly. Just how has the team responded to?
Pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were challenged. Peyton challenged the team after the game. I did in our meeting on Sunday, showed them what elite toughness looks like and what it doesn't. Win or lose, I want to see elite toughness, and that's the thing that this team has always been under me, has been physical and tough. And like I said before, that was my biggest takeaway from the game, and why I felt so bad coming off that field. I did not feel like that was the DNA that we have in our program. Win or lose, we need to go out there and fight and be physical and play fast. And sometimes I think guys just try to be perfect, and playing football that way is cautious, and that's not the type of football team I want to coach. And so yeah, gnarly, I guess, if that's what that looks like, fast and physical, then that's what it's been. That's what we're trying to get, and can we play that way in the stadium Saturday? That's the big challenge right now.
You mentioned Jake at tight end for Clemson. Is that Robert Kennedy's kind of duties, or how does that kind of work in this game?
It depends on where they put him. If they put him out at number 1, he could be on a corner. If he's in the box, he could be on a safety or a nickel. Robert's not going to shadow him outside of the defensive rules that we have. So there's going to be a lot of people that have to defend him. He's a really good football player for him, and I would too if I was a quarterback. I'd throw the ball to him. He's 6'6". He's a big dude.
It seems like this year tight ends have found success against your defense. Is there anything that's been a trend, or is it kind of just happening?
No. I think early in the year we were having some eye discipline issues in the Notre Dame game, and so that's where they were in 3 tight end sets a lot, and so that's where you saw that. And as the season's gone on, I don't really feel like that has been what it is. It definitely wasn't, except for the 1 goal line pass, I guess you would say, in the Duke game. But most of what we've been seeing lately has been outside, to be honest. Our corners have been getting the ball thrown out there on them.
It didn't get talked about enough, but what went into the process of having Braden kick a 57-yarder, and how confident were you that he was going to make it? And then he made it with ease.
He made a 60-yarder in pregame.
Okay.
Made it both ways in pregame, and so he said, "I got this from 60." All right, well, I'll give you a 3-yard cushion, man. At that time, we needed to score points. We had just gotten a turnover, and I felt like the kid did a good job, and that was only 10 minutes prior. So that was the first drive of the game.
Would you say 5-game season for these guys? Just kind of, what's the message? You got a mix of veterans, but also some young guys that maybe, obviously haven't been through this, but as we've seen, anything can happen in college football right now. What's the message for these guys?
Well, I think we have to be in the moment. A lot of times, particularly publicly, everyone focuses on where you are, and the things that have happened. And, to me, it's not about that. It's not about our record anymore. It's about our finish. It's about the 5 games we have left and honoring the guys that are in their last season and playing as hard as we can for them and the legacy that group gets to leave behind. There's a lot of football left in the season. There's so many things that can happen. And so just taking it one at a time and, focusing on right now. Right now, the most important thing is a win against Clemson, and that's where everything's at.
Leading up to the Duke game, you said the receivers were catching the ball at a high level in practice. Is that level of execution continuing in practice?
Yeah, we had a great week. It wasn't a one-day thing. It was day after day after day. And so, I'm excited about the way they've come out. And like I said to them, normally you're going to play like you practice, and that didn't happen a week ago. But we practiced well 3 days in a row on that side of the football. And so the carryover now is about just cutting it loose. And going out there and playing fast.
It feels like y'all haven't put together performances where it seems like every phase really fully did its job.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this could be the week?
Yeah, I agree. I said that before the last game. I felt like that's where we were at. We were coming off a game where we scored 48 points. The defense gave up 41, so the defense was all mad. They were disappointed and practiced really hard. And I said, all right, now we got a pissed off defense and offense to gain some confidence, and the special teams has played well. It's time for the other 3 phases to go do it. And I thought that would happen in the Duke game, and obviously I was very wrong. But yeah, to answer your question, that's where we need to take the next step. We need a 3-phase football game. And everyone just needs to go out there and play that complementary football we preach here and do it all in the same game.
You moved some offensive linemen around this week. How have you kind of seen that in practice and kind of that?
It's been good. It's not the first time this year, unfortunately, with Dylan's injury. We had to shuffle the deck 3 different times, I think. So, yeah, we've seen Ja'Carrius Peak at tackle. You saw him in the Louisville game there. You've seen Tim McKay at guard. You've seen Coop at center. You've seen Coop at guard. We've had Derek Eason at left guard and right guard, Anthony Carter at left guard and right guard. So this isn't new. It's new on the depth chart, so everyone's making it like the first time ever we've done this. It's not. But we're going to keep rewarding performance, and that's what this sport is. If you grade out well and you don't have penalties, then you're going to play more than the guy that's not. And if you don't, then you get an opportunity to earn it back, and that's kind of where we're at.
How did it feel to see Isaiah Moore get signed by the Chiefs?
Oh yeah, I was fired up for him. He texted me. Obviously, you guys know it's my hometown, and starting on 2 or 3 special teams and backup middle linebacker, and couldn't happen to a better guy. And awesome football team too. So they're in a good rhythm. They got the Taylor Swift fan mania going on. That's pretty cool. So,
Are you a Swiftie?
Am I? No, I'm not. I would say I'm a Travis Kelce guy, though. I love watching that guy play. Man, is he good? But excited for their team. They're playing really well.
Where did the love for Merle Haggard start?
So when I was a house painter in high school, every summer my basketball coach had that old boom box, right? And 61 Country is radio station in Kansas City, and there's a knob that you turn for people that don't know what a boombox is anymore. You change the channel, right? And he took the pliers and yanked the knob off, and it's locked on 61 Country, and that was all oldies. And we used to always say there's only two kinds of music, country and western, and that's what you're going to listen to, by God. And so I heard a lot of Merle Haggard growing up and just fell in love with the guy.
I think we focused a lot on the record this season, but I think with more signing and with Drake Thomas and so many guys who are going to the league, what do you think it says about the program as a whole and where it is?
Well, I think we lost more than people realize from last year's team. We had 5 defensive players that are playing on NFL rosters right now. And then we had some players on offense, Zavala, and then 3 guys leave for other schools in the portal that were starters for us that are starting at their new schools. So, new staff coming in. There's been a lot of change, and so I've said this many times. I don't think people really understand it, but we're evolving right now. We're in the process of figuring out a little bit who we are and what we need to do better. Is it a failure? I'm sure some people think it is. To me, it's just an opportunity to keep getting better. And we got 5 games, and I'm excited about the challenge. I really am. But we lost some good players, and we're recruiting some really good players. This is a great place to come to school. It's a great opportunity to learn and grow under a staff that's been here and has a lot of experience.